got beats.
So the majority of the time, and you can use this in any type of scenario, it's not just for sales, it's for any type of relationship, whether it's group or just individual. But the majority of the time we use something called position negotiation. That's where you give concessions. You're standing over there, I'm standing over here, there's a bag of money or an opinion, a behavior, something in the middle, and you're saying, if you give up this, I'll give up this. If you give up this, I'll give up this. And we do that a lot in relationships, especially romantic ones. But what we're gonna show you today is marriage negotiation. Now, the problem with position negotiation is, let's pretend there's a big bag of money right here on the table, right? If there's a big bag of money right here, and we're working with a seller, or we're working with a lover, or we're working with a friend, and I get the bigger half because I get my point across, and I get what I want ultimately from the deal, or from the conversation, what's gonna happen there is, the person on the end is gonna feel like something is left out. Somehow their pockets were fucked up, somehow they lost money, they lost power, they lost emotions, they weren't validated, something along those natures, right? So what we do, instead of using that, marriage negotiation, it takes you away from the problem. So when it comes to sellers, the problem is gonna be tax delinquent, pre-foreclosure. It's gonna be those are just lists that we use. But let's go into the subcategory of those lists. The subcategories is financial deficit, a financial problem, medical problem, their family's a piece of shit, something along those lines, and they helped out their family, instead of helping out themselves, and in doing so, they lost a lot of money in the process. I'm pretty sure we've all been through that situation. So then, what happens there is, what was it? I had a brain fart. Oh yeah, position. So what happens there is they're rooted in the position. That's where their problem is. So if I'm able to pinpoint their problem, and then again, the easiest way to do this, and I always talk about it with this, is with like a lover. If I see that they have a problem with my behavior or a situation or something of that nature, and this is their position in it, I'm not gonna try to argue them out of their position. I'm not gonna try to argue with them out of their financial situation, with the position why they're in a financial deficit, why they're on one of the problem lists that we have. I'm not gonna argue that. And I'm not gonna try to sell my point on why I'm the best option. What I'm gonna do though, is say, here they are in their position, I'm gonna take them away from that position, and I'm gonna stand them side by side with me. So instead of me standing over here, them standing over there, and us taking concessions, I'll do this, I'll do this, you do this, I'll do this, I'm gonna stand them over here and say, look, I see this problem right here, I have a plethora of options that can help you with this problem. So how can we do this together? I don't say you, I don't say I anymore, I say we. Because now we become a team, we become one unit, focusing on the problem. Where did this problem happen? What went on? How can I relate to this problem somehow, but not take it on as my own? Where like, have you ever been in a conversation with someone and you're talking about some deep shit, you're getting vulnerable with the individual, and then they start talking about their whole fucking life story about how they relate to you, and 30 minutes goes by, I'm like, bitch, I was talking about myself, what the fuck? Like, I'm the one in this situation right now, like, come on. So instead of doing all that, saying, you do a quick relator, saying, oh yeah, no, I completely understand, my tia went through the same thing. Done. You see what I'm saying? When my grandma passed away, all three of my tias and then my tío, they all fought for the money. One of my tias literally went behind everyone's back, forged signatures, and got all the insurance money for herself. That literally happened. I'm not gonna continue on with that. What I might do though is just do like some heavy breathing or something along those natures with my behavior, with my body language, to be able to stress the situation. But what I'm doing right there is I'm doing a small relating. That way they see that I'm not against them. I'm letting them talk so they can keep on venting, keep on talking. I'm positioning them slowly but surely next to me. But you know what? I know we have situations. I know we have options for this. We have solutions for this, and we can make this work actually. So again, marriage negotiation is taking the individual out of their problem, putting them next to you, and tackling the problem together as a unit, as a team. How do you do that? There's three ways. The main one, the first one, is self-distancing. Self-distancing is a cognitive bias. Cognition, again, is how it's a site term. It's how humans take in information, how they process information, and how they store information and then use it. You could look up cognition, you could look up something called cognitive thinking. If you look up cognitive thinking, it's just, again, how we process it and analyze it within ourselves. There's cognitive actions, there's cognitive tools, but just go off of cognition in general. It's how human beings function when it comes to new knowledge and processing and using that knowledge. But so self-distancing is something I practice a lot. You hear it a lot with NBA players and things like that. Like LeBron James just got in LeBron James is literally saying this. LeBron James just got in the zone and he did his thing. He's using something called self-distancing. So you basically, in layman's terms, you view from the balcony. So if I'm in a situation, a confrontation, or in a heavy vulnerable situation, I'm gonna take myself, my interests, my feelings out of the category, out of the whole situation, and I'm gonna view from the balcony to try to understand this person's point of view, not from my perspective, but from every perspective possible, especially theirs. Does that make sense? I'm gonna ask probing questions. Well, how did this happen? How did this come to be? Right? And I'm gonna say like with that tone of voice, with these eyebrows like this. Like, how'd that happen? And I'm not trying to do it in the type, I'm doing it that way with that low voice and that probing, so it doesn't sound like aggressive. It doesn't sound like I'm mocking them. It doesn't sound anything negative, but like, yo, I'm genuinely interested. Like, you good? Like, what's going on? You see what I'm saying? What that does is they're gonna start giving information. And then if I'm viewing it from the balcony, I'm not gonna put my imposed interest on the situation. Instead, I'm gonna be able to view it from all aspects. That way I can come up with as many things possible, logical reasons possible on how to help them. Again, they're my friend now. They're my friend. They're not someone I'm battling against. They're my friends. So how can we get creative together? How can I get creative with my knowledge of real estate or anything of the sort, my experience in humanity? How can I come with you and knock this out with you? So first you got to do self-distancing, which is viewing from the balcony. Another good way to put this is, let's say, a tenant and landlord, right? The tenant might think, my landlord never asks how my day is going. All they ask is for their money. The landlord might think, I'm a good landlord because I never bother the tenant. I let them do their own thing. I know they pay. The tenant might say, I always pay whenever they ask me. The landlord might think, man, I always have to ask this asshole to pay. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? We're not going to know until we ask the proper type of questions in the right way, practicing self-distancing, viewing from the balcony without our interest taken out of it, to view the whole situation, to come to a rational conclusion. Rational, nothing but logic. That's simple Stoicism, right? How can I logically look at this with facts from all perspectives, with the right information, and attack it with a plethora, like at least 5 different options, okay? So you do that. The next thing you go into is a win-win situation. If I have a win-win situation, this is real simple. If I have a win-win situation, that example I use where there's a money right here, a bag of money right here, no one's gonna feel like they're left out, right? Like, have you been at a family cookout and the loudest cousin gets all the motherfucking attention? All the attention. They get all the love, all the attention, extra plate food. Someone feels like they're gonna get left out eventually. Someone's gonna get annoyed with them, they're gonna get frustrated with them. But if you go into a win-win situation, they're not gonna feel that. But the problem with the win-win situation is it's sometimes hard to hit, because they're in such a problem area. What happens if I can only offer them 50, well, I can only offer them 50, they have tax debt of 40, and I can only give them about 5 grand, 10 grand. That's not a win-win situation. I mean, I'm still putting money in their pocket, but it's still kind of shitty. You know what I mean? It's like, fuck, man. I'm sorry. I know I'm gonna make some money on this because I could cure all your debt. I'm gonna take off this lien. I'm gonna take off this tax stuff, and I'll find you a new place to stay. You want to rent? Cool. I know some places that don't care about your credit. Actually, since you live with people, they'll use combined income. If you look at a property on the MLS, the majority of those rental spots will not use combined income. But I know investors, my in-pocket investors, that will use combined income, and we can make this route. Let's rent it. And they all do new rehab, so you're gonna get most likely in a fresh home with a new restroom and everything. How exciting. So you try to find win-win situations. If you're not able to find that, and the person is basically saying, fuck you, you're gonna use something called objective criteria. I use this in the majority of everything I fucking do. If I cannot speak on a situation, I won't. Unless I educate myself, I'll say, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know about that. I'm pretty sure some of y'all heard me say that before. I don't know, but I'll come back to you or I'll get educated on it. I come right back to it. I'm like, I'm not gonna lead you in the right way. I'm not gonna lie to you. You know what I mean? I say that sometimes. It's just the truth. I don't know what it is. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna steer you wrong. But I'm gonna study it. I'll come back to you. Hey, check this out. You see what I'm saying? Objective criteria, all it is facts. Irrefutable, logical facts. How can we use objective criteria in real estate and ARV? Numbers. I know for sure if I put this amount of money into this property with this type of material, that's right next door that did the exact same thing, and they got an appraisal for 168. I'm using an actual example in my head. It was a property called Thorn. It was that hoarder house you did. Remember that? So there was literally no properties on the block or within the subdivision that matched it except for one. And we always want to use at least 2 to 3 comparables, or maybe like 3 all the time. But what I did then is it was literally one house over. So it was Thorn, random house, that house. Exact same build, exact same square footage, exact same year. I said, if we copy the same material, all we have to do is look on the MLS. If we copy the same material, we'll be able to get the same ARV. And guess what happened? It happened. We did. I'm talking about a hoarder house, man. Trash was up to here. We didn't even know what kind of fucking flooring it was. Was it regular flooring? Was it vinyl? Was it plank? Whatever. Excuse me. Was it carpet? We didn't know what it was. It was so bad. And it was just horrible. So it was a whole gut. When we gutted it, the roaches and rats went to the neighbor's house, man. It was just bad. But what we did, again, we copied the same exact material. It fit the numbers, it fit the budget, it made sense, and we got the number we needed. So how do you use that? You use your formula, you reverse engineer your ARV, then you go to your rehab, your fee, and everything of the sort, and you say, this is what it's going to take, so this is what I can offer. And then you break it down to them. You be honest. You use facts, you use logic. Say, look, I'm gonna be honest with you. This is the material cost. This is what it is. This is how we run it, and this is how it's gonna work. If anyone else tries to come to you with something different, with a higher number, I promise you, they're not gonna be able to sell it. And if they are able to sell it, let me know now, and I'll pay you $500. That's where we use the irresistible guarantee. If they're not, please think of me, and I'll get this done for you at this price. No questions asked. The reason you use objective criteria is, again, because we can't hit win-win situations, and we got to use nothing but logic and facts that are irrefutable, no questions asked. But you got to heavily remember, you need to walk into the negotiation with self-distancing. Because if they get any hint in the beginning about you wanting to impose your own self-interest on it, on their problems, on their stresses, on their fuck-ups, or someone fucking up on their life, you're trying to impose yourself on me, on my shit, I'm not going to like you off the rip. So there's no way I'm going to care to listen to facts. I'm pretty sure some of y'all have been on a call and it kind of got miscommunicated somewhere, and you're like, look, I know you're tax delinquent, or I know you're like in pre-foreclosure, and they just get mad. I don't give a fuck, I'm gonna deal with it. We've even seen people get so upset with us, they allow themselves to go into pre-foreclosure, even file bankruptcy sometimes, and just get hit hard, dude, on their credit, on their history, just everything, because they're prideful. How do I avoid pride? By using this, right here. I'm no longer gonna use position negotiation, you versus me versus my girl, me versus my dad, me versus my mom, me versus my brother, me versus the seller. No, I'm gonna use merit negotiation. What is the problem? There's a problem here, and I need to see it from the balcony so I can understand all aspects of it, come to it with logic and reason. Hopefully, as my friend, you can see the logic and reason as well, and I can understand the frustration, the emotional vulnerability, and the emotional frustration and stress that you have, so we can come to a conclusion with this. I'm not gonna impose myself. I'm not gonna push myself on you. I'm gonna try to understand you, and I'm gonna try to help you as best as I possibly can, because you are my friend at the end of the day. And we're gonna make this a win-win situation, hopefully. And if we're not, we're gonna make this the best situation we possibly can so you can restart and reset everything. Make sense, guys? Anyone have any questions?
Hey guys, if you like this video, go on and head over to my Instagram where I post exclusive content to help you grow your business.